Oops.
Bill Carter, what about you?
How'd your life unfold, Dad, after leaving the gang?
A long time ago. I think Mom was still living with me when she went to Idaho.
Yeah,
But I didn't go. Yeah.
I think when I moved out,
So the story is I would never leave her, so she left me.
You were the last one with Mom?
Yeah, and I was working at Douglas. Worked there about 7 years, went to work at Western. Worked there for 30 years. Ended up in Atlanta.
How'd that happen?
Yeah,
Why did you?
Well, when Western and Delta bought Western, or merged with Western, and they moved us to Atlanta. And I love Atlanta. I probably would never come back here if I didn't have kids here, but I like it here too. I mean, in California, where if anything would happen to my present wife, I'd go back to California immediately. Because my kids are there, not because, because I like it in Atlanta, enough to where I won't leave her to come back.
Right.
But I'd come back.
You got a pretty piece of property.
Yeah, we have a nice house, where if I had that house in California, it'd probably be worth $1 million. I got a full acre.
Yeah.
And it's only worth 200,000, but no, about 150. If I had it in California, it would be worth 500,000.
My house in Katy, they're worth about $1 million.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I understand California property values now.
No, I know they're
going to shit.
Yeah.
They're going down.
It went. Big business will square that away. Let it come back.
We hope.
Uncle Lauren, how about you?
Well, I graduated from high school in 1952. I got married to Nellie in 1953. I got drafted in 1953. Spent 2 years in the Army, 18 months in Germany. Hated every moment of it. I had a chance to go to OCS school while I was in the Army. I said, I don't want to stay in. I didn't do it. I came home, continued life, went to work for Douglas Aircraft down in Los Angeles with everybody else.
Yeah.
What'd they have you doing in Germany when you were in the Army?
I was actually a regimental driver. I drove all the big captains, majors, wherever they want to go. When we went on bivouac, I drove the company car.
Okay.
So I had a cushy job.
Did you like Germany at all, or?
I loved Germany. I just didn't like the
Right, you didn't like to be in the service, right?
But it was okay. I mean, I look back on it now, and not in my mind, I liked it. Then I didn't like it. I was away from my wife when I wanted to come on.
Right.
They put me, when I had about 3 months left, they took about 5 guys out of my division. And they sent us to 3 days of school. And the whole idea was they would put us to a point as to West Point.
Same thing. It wasn't West Point, it was OCS.
And the first thing they did is they released you for 2 years, and you had to go 2 years of college.
That's good. No, that's
And then you had to re-up for 4 years, and then you had to go to school for 4 years at West Point. And by then, you're married to the Army, and I said no. I probably shouldn't have.
I said no.
Yeah.
Then I went to work for a little publishing company in the Los Angeles area, and got a chance. I wasn't getting along too well with my wife, so I took a job, contract job, in Oklahoma, Tulsa, and then eventually we got divorced. And I traveled all over the United States, Georgia, Texas, California, Oregon, where I could find a job. Paid well, but I did a lot of traveling. And then finally I ended up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I went direct, retired in 1999. I met Linda actually in West Point in 1976. Got married in 77. Best thing I ever did. good one. That's about it. Now we're living in Kentucky. Been there for 2 years. Lived in Texas for a couple of years. A little town called Tyler near Dallas.
Tyler's an interesting city because isn't that where the Rose Garden is?
Yeah. The accent was there.
Uncle Ronald, can you tell us a story or a memory of your big brother Virgil?
Oh, yeah.
Lots of them.
Probably what, 1958? Anyhow, I took his mother and father to get married. We left Turlock, drove all day, got to Reno, probably evening. We slept in our, they were going to get married in Reno. I took them to get, so they could get married. And we got to Reno, and of course everything was closed. And we slept. I didn't have a window in the car, so we had a blanket up there. Not a very good heater. Didn't have the money to run the car anyhow. Oh, and by the way, we bought a set of chains because we thought we might run into the snow. So we got up, it was New Year's morning, and everything was closed up. So we ended up going to Carson City, and that's where they got married, Carson City on New Year's Eve of 1948, I think. And,
We lived on 48, 56, not 58.
48, yeah. Anyhow, we ended up having to sell a chain as we got down off the hill just to get something to eat. So none of us had any money.
Well, you know, when we went to Dad's funeral, we slept, all of us slept in the
I
car.
remember that, yeah.
I remember going into a restaurant, and we all ordered hamburgers, and they said, we don't have any time. So Mom said, put it on bread. So
Yeah.
we had hamburgers made with bread. Yeah, all of us sleeping in that car. It's unbelievable. Couldn't afford a hotel, man. That was way out of our range.
We ended up, of course, Mom was with us, and we witnessed her wedding. Then I went to Mike and Meryl's wedding in Long Beach on our boat, wasn't it?
Princess Louise, 1971.
I was there. And then
I was great.
Then I went to Jenny's and Troy's wedding in Bend. So I've been to all three generations, actually.
That's true. That's a true story. What else do you remember about Virgil when he left? When he left the family and went out with Yvonne?
Well, I do remember on the January, the younger kids had to stay home.
Yeah.
But I remember when they came home and we went to graduate. Did they live with us for a couple of weeks after they got married?
Might have.
But yeah, I always, as the younger brother, kind of worshipped Virgil as, being the elder brother.
Yeah.
I always thought he was the man's man. In fact, I wrote a note to you guys about that in one of our newsletters that we used.
You know that they bought a little house in Turlock.
Yeah, I remember that little
Virgil
house.
did?
Virgil
Yeah,
did.
they bought a little house just close to that, over Viaduct, or over the railroad tracks where we come in.
Back over closer to Turlock Miles.
Yeah, in that area.
They had taffy in those days.
Had what?
Taffy babies, little Cocker Spaniel, cutest thing on the road. I remember. Glad they didn't stay there.
Yeah, I think they moved to Fresno.
What was he doing for work?
He was a machinist, North American for years.
That's what he was doing.
Do you ever remember him working as a lineman?
That's right.
Photos
He did
of-
that. That's where he met your mother, wasn't it?